Hello everyone, it's Tracey. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks very much for joining me. Today I'm doing an assembly tutorial for the 3D romantic lantern, which has been designed by Nicole Silhouette here on YouTube. This lantern is available as a cutting die set from Andy's store, also known as RLJLIVES. Or if you have an electronic digital cutting machine, you can also buy a cutting file from Nicole's Etsy store, and I shall link those both in the description box below. For today's tutorial I'm using the cutting file as I don't have the die set. So I have the pieces cut out here, which I'm going to show you. We have these 4 pieces which make up the sides of the lantern, and I went ahead and put double-sided tape on the back for my vellum pieces, or you could use acetate. There's also this square piece, and these pieces here are for the handle and the top of the lantern. So this is the handle that would be folded in half like that, and will get positioned through this piece here. There's another square. We have these 2 pieces here. They form part of the top along with these 2 pieces. We also have this piece with the center cut out, another bigger square, and these 4 pieces are the feet of the lantern. And you can see that I went ahead and put double-sided tape on the tabs that I would put glue. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach my vellum to the exposed double-sided tape on the back of the pieces of the lantern, which I went ahead and did. Now I'm going to start putting the lantern together. So I'm just going to zoom in. I've removed the release paper from one of the glue tabs there, and I'm going to join the first and second pieces together, taking care to line them up, and I'll give them a burnish with my bone folder. I'm going to do the same for attaching the third piece to the second. Remove the release paper, line it up nicely, and then burnish with my bone folder so that the glue gets a good stick. Continue the same with the 4th piece attaching to the 3rd. And I'm just checking to make sure this will fit nicely together. Take the release paper off the final tab. Turn it over and line up the side of the lantern, that 4th side, with the first side along that exposed tab. Taking care to line it up correctly, and then pressing it into place. And you can see the lantern's taking shape there. The double-sided tape I'm using is the Silhouette tape. So we're going to move to the biggest square, and I'm going to remove the release papers from the tabs. And we're going to attach this to the base of the lantern. And you can see I've got it sitting there upside down to my left. So the top is on my glass media mat. So I'm going to line it up against one of the edges, and pressing my fingers from behind, I'm going to push that into place. And then I'm going to work my way around, attaching those tabs to the inside of the base of the lantern. This is easier with glue. You've got a bit of wriggle room, but still very convenient to do with double-sided tape. So you can see the tape can get stuck before you're ready for it. So I've just got my pokey tool ready in case I need to pry it apart. But it's not going to be giving me too much trouble, I don't think. It just seems to slot together nicely, and that's a credit to Nicole again for the way she designs these cutting files and for the cutting dies. So I'm just checking inside to make sure that the tab has adhered, and I can see that one hasn't, so I'm just going in with my bone folder and I'm pressing it down, making sure that they all have a good stick inside, pressing them all down. So once you've made sure that that's all pressed down nicely, you can check to make sure it's all, no gaps around the edges on the other side. It's all looking good. So moving on to the top and the handle of the lantern. So I've got the handle here in my hand, and I'm going to fold it in half and glue it. This is where I'm using some glue, and I'm using the art glitter glue. So fold it in half and press it together, but not those bottom two pieces. We're going to use those to adhere to the inside of the top. This piece is the very top of the lantern, and we're going to poke this handle piece through that little slit there. Then we're going to butterfly those two pieces and put glue on each side and press them down into place to the inside of that top piece, like so. Then I'm going to get that smaller square and I'm going to glue that over the top. This will give the top of the lantern a little bit more strength and hold that piece into place too, so it doesn't ever come out of that slit, because you don't want that to come apart. So I'm just pressing that into place, making sure it's getting a good stick. And then we'll move on to gluing the sides of the top of the lantern together. So these two pieces are the sides, and we're going to attach the top to the sides. So I'm just going to attach to that side there, taking care to line it up nicely. And I'm going to bend that tab out of the way so I can bend the side pieces around and attach it to that tab, pressing from behind, making sure it's all matched up nicely and lined up nicely. Just going to remove those release papers there to move on to the next step. So I'll join that shorter tab there onto that side piece and continue joining the top piece onto that top edge of the sides. Again, I can't say it enough, take your time, line it up correctly. Make sure you're getting good positioning, otherwise your top of your lantern will be wonky. Now I'm just going to close up this last side, and the top you can see is taking shape. And I'm happy with how this is fitting together. So that's a look at how the top is coming along so far. All the edges are nice and neat, and the joins look good too. So I'm just going to fold those tabs in and remove the release paper from the double-sided tape, and you'll see that that larger square will fit on there. So as I said, I'm just going to remove the release paper from the double-sided tape and taking my time, I'm going to put this square into place. So I'm just going to attach it to one side at a time, lining it up before pressing it into place. Give it a bit of a burnish, and also the other joins on the inside there, making sure everything's adhering nicely, because you don't want it to pop open on you. I'm just going to fold those tabs in and start lining these sides up, just taking care to get it straight. It is easier, as I said before, using glue because you've got that wriggle room to get positioned correctly, but it's still doable with double-sided tape, which is a little bit more convenient. And I need to get my pokey tool here because it's stuck before I wanted it to. So I'm just gently prising it apart and repositioning it before pressing it into place. And the top of our lantern is coming together nicely. So I'm just making sure that all those tabs are stuck down and it's looking good. So I'm just going to put this part of the top of the lantern aside for the time being and work on another section of the top of the lantern, and that's where these pieces come in. So we're going to remove the release paper from just one side of these pieces and the little end tabs. And you'll see I have this other piece there with the centre cut out of it. So we're going to join these two pieces together once I've removed the release paper, and the little end tab's going to join up with that flat side of the second piece. Then we're going to bend it around and join it into a four-sided piece, like so. So you'll have one side that has the release paper still on and one side with the adhesive exposed. And we're going to feed that through that centre hole so that the tabs with the adhesive on are on the underneath side of that piece. And we'll push those tabs down, and that holds that piece into place. And I do actually have to tell you something about that piece with the hole in it. We'll get to that in a minute. So once you've got it fed through, you can then push the tabs with the adhesive against the underneath side of that piece with the centre cut out, and that attaches it to that particular piece. So just pressing it down, making sure it's got a good stick and that it's got good positioning. Then I'm going to turn the top tabs over that have the double-sided adhesive release paper still on them, and we've got that piece there like that now. Then I'm going to bring in the other top piece of the lantern, and you'll see that it's going to go on the top like that. But what I did do was that piece with the centre cut out of it, I kept the fallout piece, and I'm going to actually put it on the top. I'm showing you that's where it came from. And I'm going to remove the release paper from the double-sided tape around those edge pieces, and I'm going to glue that fallout piece on the top. And the reason why I'm doing that, because you don't have to if you don't want to, but the reason I'm doing it is because I want more surface area to apply glue to when I join this piece to the other top piece. When I put it on there, there'll be more glue going on there instead of just around the edges like that. It'll be more secure, and that's why I did that. So I'm using the art glitter glue there, and I will glue them together like that. Now also you'll notice there that there's that hole there, and if you don't like the look of that, you can cover that up if you like, because when you open up your lantern you will see that when you put your tea light candle in. And I cut an extra square just under 2 inches square, and that fits nicely over that hole and it covers it. It's only an aesthetic thing. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. It was just something extra that I felt I needed to do. So I'm just gluing that into place and sticking it down. Now remember when I told you I had something to tell you about this particular piece of the lantern? Well, now's the time I have to tell you. I did make a little mistake. When I was putting on the double-sided tape at the beginning on all the pieces, I jumped too far ahead, and because sometimes that's what I do, and I put too many pieces of the double-sided adhesive around those four sides. You only put double-sided adhesive on one of these sides, not all four. So I've had to rejig this piece, and I'll show you what it should look like. It should look like this: one piece of adhesive and the three sides with no adhesive, because when it goes into the lantern, it adheres on one side only. The top and bottom tabs tuck in, and the tab on the right side hangs over the edge. That's the way Nicole's designed it. So now I'm going to put some glue onto that piece and join it to the other top piece there. And I'm using the art glitter glue. And mistakes happen to all of us, and I'm no exception. It's what makes us human, and it's all part of the fun of paper crafting. So I'm just applying the glue to that bottom piece of the top of the lantern, and I'm lining it up and making sure it's central on that other top piece that we previously made. And once I'm happy with it, I'm going to push it into place and then set it aside to dry. And whilst that's drying, I'm going to move on to the feet of the base of the lantern, and I'm going to remove the release papers from these top tabs only, not that bottom tab. We'll leave that one alone for the time being, and then we'll join the other piece to it. We'll do the same again, just removing the release papers from the top tab and joining the third piece and then the fourth piece. Just taking care to line them up to make sure it's straight. And I'm going to burnish now, and then I find a sticky piece there, so I'm just going to remove it with my pokey tool and continue on burnishing to make sure they get good stick. Then I'm going to bend it around so I can join it up together. So I'll join that side on, making sure it's got a good hold and pressing it into place, and then our piece should look like this. Now it's time to remove the release papers off those bottom tabs. And you'll see that they tuck in and they form a triangular support piece for the bottom of your lantern, like so. I'll just zoom in so you can see, and I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. So that just tucks in and behind. There's no wrong way to do it. And just moving around and getting the last one done. Tucking that in. And we've got quite a good sturdy base there. So I'm just going to fold those top tabs down. And it's time to stick this to our lantern. It will sit on there like that. So I'm going to remove the release pad. I'm only going to do one side at a time here, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just lining that up, making sure it's straight and even. Just going to put it down and reach in from behind there with my left hand to press that tab into place on the base of the lantern. Then I'm going to flip over to the opposite side, so side facing up, and I'm going to attach that to that side of the lantern and press it into place. And you'll see that it's going to be difficult to get the release paper from that side, and it's so well lined up that all I have to do is turn it over to the back, fold the tab down and get the release paper from that side. And it's pretty well already lined up in the correct position to stick it down. So I just turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Just fold the tab down, remove the release paper, and then push it back up again against the base of the lantern. And you'll see that it'll all fit together really, really well. Just making sure I've got a good stick around, and it's all looking really good. Really happy with that. And now it's time to put the lid in place. It's dried really well. So that's going to go on one side of the lantern. So I'll take the release paper off that one side only, because the other side shouldn't have any. And you just decide which way you want it to be the front of your lantern, because that's where you're sticking that hinge against your front edge. And I thought I had it pressed against here, but when I lifted it up it wasn't. You'll see that in a sec. It wanted to pop off, as you can see. So that's okay, you just hold it from both sides. Middle fingers on the outside, thumbs on the inside, and pressing against each other. And that will hold that piece into place. So I'm just checking my alignment. And that join there is looking good. And that tab there hangs over the edge, and the other two tuck in. And you could put a magnet there if you wanted to, but it actually holds quite well without it. So that's my lantern there, and now I've got some decorator panels, and you do get a die to make this decorator panel, and you'll cut that 4 times. And I use this pretty floral paper. It's a bit hard to see, I couldn't get my camera to focus there. And they just go on there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that all down. And that's looking nice on the lantern. So I don't normally decorate as I'm going in my tutorials, but today I thought I'd do something different and show you the decoration of it till the very end. So I just need to do my top piece here, which comes in the cutting file, but not the die set, I believe. So you would need to cut that by hand. So I'm just getting that into position and making sure that the glue is taking hold. without any gaps. And then I'll go ahead and put my decorator panels here and along here. So I've gone ahead and done that, and my lantern's looking lovely. It just needs now the final decorating, which I'll show you that in a minute. So I've actually got 2 lanterns here. This is the one I'm finishing today for you for the tutorial, and it's got some flowers on it and some pearls, and I've done this up very girly because I'm going to give it to my mum, and I know that she'll love it like this. And the top opens like that for you to put your electronic tea light inside. And I really love the way that this turned out, so girly and pink. And this sort of thing my mum really likes, so happy to give that to her. And I also made a Christmas themed one with a poinsettia in the centre. And I love the way this turned out. I put some aqua shimmer pen in the gold around the edges of the poinsettias, and it all matched in really well. Having trouble with my lighting today. So there we go. And this one's the same, it opens up like the other one for your tea light candle. And I'm super happy with how these 2 lanterns came out, very easy to put together too. So that's my tutorial finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching and that you feel inspired to make one of these lanterns yourself, either to keep or to give to one of your friends. They're not that terribly hard to make, and they look great, as you can see. Don't forget to check the description box down below for the links to Andy's store as to where you can buy this die set, and also the link to Nicole's Etsy store if you'd like to buy the cutting file. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really love that too. Thanks very much for watching today. Have a great day, and until next time, it's bye for now.